I'll let you in on a little secret. I look as if I'm dressed, but from the waist down, I've got floral shorts on. Hey everyone, Stephen here, and in today's video I thought I would share with you 5 of my favourite gaff deck tricks. Now before I begin, I do want to say that this video is in no way sponsored. Everything that I do say is my own thoughts and opinions. So if that sounds interesting, just keep watching. Alright, so coming in at number 1 is the invisible deck. Now this is one of my favourite gaff deck tricks, and I do really love it. But there's a couple of problems with the invisible deck. The first problem with the invisible deck is that you have to do the maths. Now when I'm performing, I want to eliminate as much stress and anxiety as possible. So having to do the maths kind of under fire, it put me off the invisible deck for a little bit. I then saw a lecture, I can't remember who it was by, and they basically showed a way in which you can mix the invisible deck and it eliminates the math side. Another problem with the invisible deck is the reveal kind of happens down here, down at kind of crotch level. So I want people to remember me and not my crotch. So when I do magic, I always try and frame it up here. I always try and do everything up here, reveal a card, show a card, just so that my face stays in the frame. Another problem with the invisible deck is you can't perform it surrounded. Now, I've done the invisible deck close up and on stage. On stage it's fine, you can do it up here. However, doing it close up, some people may see things that they're not meant to. So recently I did find something else. A couple of years ago I came across a trick called the PTO deck from Lawrence Turner. Basically someone would name a card, so let's just say it's the 8 of clubs. You would spread through and there'd be one card face down. Now that looks like a brainwave deck, but it's not, because from this side you are seeing all the cards. So this is a great version. It has no maths and it happens up here, and it's pretty much the same trick. The good thing is you can do it surrounded, so if someone was behind you, they pretty much see the exact same trick. So it's a great alternative. I have switched from the invisible deck to this, and this is a main part of my show. So yeah, I do recommend that you check out the invisible deck, the brainwave deck and the PTO deck from Mr. Lawrence Turner. Alright, so coming in at number 2 we have the mental photography deck. Alright, yeah, so the mental photography deck, it's an absolutely fantastic trick. It's got multiple phases and multiple pieces of magic. I really do like this trick because it starts off with a strange object. You pull a deck of cards out and they are blank on both sides. Now when you do pull out the blank deck, people do look at it and think, what's that? So then you've got to explain this what they look like when they're not printed, and straight away the audience click and go, ah right, is that what it is? So yeah, it might look like an odd prop, but there is a justification built into the routine. And then from there you gradually print the deck, and then you end up with a full deck of cards, and then from there you change it back to blank. Now I really like this because it is fun, interactive, and also there's a lot of moments of magic in it. One thing that I really do like about the mental photography deck routine is that it kind of starts and ends the same. So you have a blank deck and you end with a blank deck. So obviously you can't examine this deck or any of the other ones that I'm mentioning in this video. However, it is totally up to your audience management. If you're hitting them hard enough with magic, they shouldn't want to examine it. So yeah, I do highly recommend the mental photography deck. So I really do love the mental photography deck, but I do want to take a second just to recommend this version. This is called Kids Cards. This is actually from Richard Pinner, a magician based down in London. Basically the difference is these have drawings on them. So it is like the kids have drawn a deck of cards for you. So there's multiple presentations, but the presentation Richard uses is, I've done a gig and as a present the kids decided to give me a deck of cards. But not only that, there's also a couple of extra bits of magic built into this. So I do really recommend that you check out Kids Cards from Richard Pinner. Now I just want to say, last week I posted a little video of a magic trailer. I do want to point out that it's fake, like it's totally fake, it's not coming out. And thank you so much for everyone who watched it and everyone who left a wee comment on the Facebook groups. I really enjoyed that. Alright, so coming in at number 3, we have the ILC deck from Lawrence Turner. Now I've got a little confession, this is one of my favourite gaff deck tricks. This totally suits my sense of humour as well, so it really goes down really well and it entertains me and makes me laugh when I'm performing it. So what is the ILC deck? Let me tell you. So the ILC deck is basically a deck of cards where you show that they are all different. In the presentation you talk about how cards are kind of like tarot cards. So for example, the Jack of Hearts means you're a bit of a joker, you're a lovable guy. And then you go, the cards will tell us something about you. The spectator will pick a card and then they'll turn it over, and on it it has their deepest, darkest revelation. Now I have performed this multiple times. I've performed this at gigs, I've performed it in social situations, I've performed it whilst on holiday, I've performed it whilst in nightclubs, and it doesn't matter where you are, you do get a great reaction. Now the only thing I would recommend is that you watch your audience. Obviously you're not going to perform this at a kids show, but it is a fantastic deck of cards, it's a great gaff, and I do really recommend you check it out. ILC deck is available from thegreenti.co.uk. Alright, so coming in at number 4 we have the Galley deck. Now a lot of magicians are going to say the Galley deck, I don't like that, because you'll see the cards are all different and now the cards are all the same. However, there are so many possibilities with the invisible deck. So for example, you can dribble down the cards and you've got a force. You can have a spectator say stop and they can find the card as well. You can have a spectator cut the deck and they'll find the card. And also you can tie a rubber band around it and use it kind of similar to a tossed out deck. Now this is probably the most popular deck of cards because they are included in a lot of kind of kids and beginner magic sets. However, I do really think that the Galley deck, if you know what you're doing with it, it totally kills. I remember years and years ago I was in London and I went to Hamley's toy shop, and there was a man behind the counter demoing the Galley deck. Now I kind of knew what it was, but the stuff that he was doing, I'm like, that's a real deck of cards. He's just using sleight of hand. And then I went, oh, I buy that? Anyway, it's a Galley deck. Now, when he told me that, I was completely blown away. And ever since then, I have looked at it completely different. Little tip, if you don't know, if you take a Galley deck and give it a riffle shuffle, just like this, it is still in the position that you need it to be in. Now because you can do that little riffle, it is convincing that it's completely shuffled. So if you're handling this Galley deck as if it is a normal deck of cards, people have no suspicion to believe that it's not. So yeah, I do really recommend that you use the Galley deck. Coming in at number 5, we have probably one of my favourite tricks, and probably the second trick from this selection that I've performed the most. This is actually a trick by Alakazam Magic and Andy Nyman. It is called Big Reaction. Now I absolutely love this trick. This is one of my favourite kind of opening tricks when I'm doing an MC spot or if I'm doing a very, very short stage spot. A couple of reasons that I love this trick is, one, it gets the audience going. So it sets the tone, it lets the audience know exactly the kind of reaction that you want. It also creates a challenge, and I do really like that because when you create a challenge with the audience, they're more invested in it because they want to prove you wrong. And I do really love it because it can be done close up, it can be done on stage. I've also came up with a method that eliminates half of the trick, which if you are interested in hearing about that, send me a wee PM and let me know and I'll be happy to share it with you. So yeah, this is a fantastic trick and people can go crazy that way. Alright, so there we have it. That's 5 gaff decks of cards. I did throw in a couple of extras for you that I have used and I do recommend. If you are interested in anything in this video, there will be a link down below. So if you have enjoyed this video, remember to give me a wee thumbs up, click subscribe, switch your notification bell on, leave me a comment down below of your favourite gaff deck of cards, and let's get some conversation going. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.